Come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.
I got a special one for y'all today. It's to sit down with your guy M Easy. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff. You know, I like talking to people that have something about them. And this person today has got hits on hits on hits. Some will call him a legend. Some might call him an icon. But he calls himself Rsonist.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Rsonist.
Thank you for having me, my brother. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm happy to have someone of your ilk in the building. Thank you for coming.
I'm happy to be here, my brother.
Okay, before we get started,
Yeah.
go through the line. Good. Flex.
What people know me for, Diplomatic Immunity, I did 11 records on that. Joel's From Me to You, I did 12 records. I've done plethora of records on Cam's solo albums. Did all of El Capo. Every record on there I produced. Lil Wayne, The Carter 2, I did 2 records. Rick Ross, his last album, I did a record on there. Well, you could think of, man. I just did a record. Ghostface, Scarface, against Fat Joe.
All of them.
Yeah, everybody, man. Everybody. Rest in peace, Fred the Godson, Joel Ortiz. Everybody, man. I've done record AZ, like whoever you could think of, they've been on a Heatmaker beat at some point. You know what I'm saying?
See, I was gonna wait to drop the Heatmaker one. Yes, he's
Beyonce, by the way. Yeah, Beyonce, record called Stop Sign for Beyonce. Yeah, so
the iconic Heatmakers. That's him.
Thank you, my brother.
That's him. So, in the past couple of years, you said you've been producing. So,
right.
How do you feel about music now?
When I learned to stop trying to compete with what's going on, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I think as a producer, the worst thing you could do is put yourself in that box of trying to compete with what's going on now. Because creativity is like it's a room with no walls. You know what I mean? There should be no limitations to your creativity. So once you start to try to fit into the box, you fall into that state where you're almost stagnant. You know what I mean? And once I learned that the Heatmaker sound is just that, the Heatmaker sound, I don't really compete with anybody. I just do what I do, and the people that are fans, they gravitate to it.
Okay. I have an issue, and I don't know who else has that issue. Maybe it's just me. A lot of people complain about the young kids and hip-hop not sounding a certain way, and New York's lost its sound, and da-da-da-da. I don't blame the artist for that.
Me neither.
That's the producer's job, no?
I wouldn't say so. I think right now we live in a world that's full of hype, right? So if you a young kid and you on the gram and you see 80% of your followers doing quote-unquote New York drill, right? You're going to think to follow that because you think that's your way into the game. Right.
That's this generation. The generation that you come from and I come from, when someone did something, you wanted to go the opposite way.
Yeah, but we didn't have to see. Social media threw a lot of these things into like a spin cycle. Because social media is almost like you're seeing what's winning real time. So in your head, it's like, oh, this is winning now? I got to do this now. We didn't fall victim to that because by the time a record came out in my era, the record was already being worked for 3 to 4 weeks by the time we heard it. So you really didn't have room to copy because if you copied, the shit was 8 months old by the time you copied. You had to be a step ahead of the game. Now it's like you're seeing things real time. So people in their crib is like, oh, that's what New York drill sounds like? I'm going to make 10 of those. And I've never been a fan of that. To me, like you said, I want to sound completely different from what's going on because if you can catch one like that, you'll live forever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But when you catch one like what's going on now, it's short-lived. It might last for a couple weeks, then you fade into, you know what I mean? So I understand that, but I think a lot of the new artists, they don't understand. They trying to look for that instant gratification. I got to win now. Let me put out a record that sounds like Homeboy Down the Street and see if I can win right now. And you know, I've never been a fan of that.
So you wouldn't put any blame on producers for the lack of New York sound?
No, because they're not producers, they're beat makers. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? When you're a producer, you actually you construct the record and make sure the artist sounds the best on that record. Like producing is everything after the beat is made.
Okay, so then that holds true to what I'm saying.
We have beat makers now, so you can't call them producers.
So the beat makers,
right? But if you can think about it, if you have like an industry full of beat makers, who's taking the lead? The producer's supposed to take the lead. If people don't know how to produce, all they doing is just making a beat. And then who do you leave it up to after that? The artist to do whatever he gonna do? So now that's what you have now. There's a bunch of people that made beats, gave it to artists, they rapped on it and put it out. None of these records are produced. Let's just keep it real. The beats are made, they're not produced.
That's coming from a producer, not me. That's from
But I mean,
a
you
producer.
can hear it though, right?
Yeah,
Can't you hear it?
absolutely.
Like when you hear 10 artists that come out back to back and they all sound similar, those aren't producers that put that together. Those are beat makers that said, yo, that beat is hot. I want to make something like that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily come from that time. I come from a different, you know.
Yeah, I know. So
Right.
so now, would you say it's harder to produce and make beats now than it was back then?
Yes, just because the lifespan on a song is shorter now. It's like again, like I said, I did all of El Capo for Jim, right? That album, people deem it as a classic album. We put that album out May 31st, 2019. By July 31st, they was asking for more. Yo, when's the next project? I'm like, shit, like it took us damn near over a year to put this project together. Y'all didn't, like, you want more that fast? Like, people don't really sit, like, I've seen people come on the radio and the album might have dropped the day before, and somebody's like, how you feel about the album? And they're like, yo, it's cool. You can't judge an album in a day. You got to sit with music and see how it really affects you. If I listened to an album one time and made my assessment off of one listen, I'd be doing the artist and the producer a disjustice.
Okay, I want to push back on that because artists sit with their music for more than a day and a month. It's been sitting there for a minute. So when they get talked about and asked the question, like, how do you feel about it? I feel they have a...
No, they can answer. I'm talking about the consumer. Because the album would be out for less than 24 hours and like a radio personality might ask a consumer, how do you feel about this album? That's too soon to give a response to me. Less than 24 hours on an album that just came out, you didn't really get a chance to digest that album.
But certain songs, when it hits you, it hits you.
No, of course. But how many times have you listened to an album, ran across a song months later and been like, yo, I fuck with this song?
Yeah, you're right.
It's happened to me plenty of times where I found a song in the middle of an album and I've had the album for months and I'm like, wait a minute, it's my favorite song on the album. And I'm just now figuring that out 2 months later.
Yes, I absolutely. There was the Kanye, I think it was the first Kanye record, and there was the song with him and Jay-Z, do what you get, do what you get. I was like, damn.
Like when I'm working with an artist, right? I'll do the record the first night the record is done. I'll probably take it home. I'll put it in the car, drive with it, throw it in some headphones, bring it to the gym, just to see how I feel about it in different situations.
Yeah.
And then when I listen to the body of work together, I'm like, all right, cool, it makes sense because I know if I feel this way, a lot of other people will feel the exact same way that I feel when they listen to it.
How do you feel about artist development? Because I feel like that's a
It
barren
don't exist no
wasteland now.
more.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Why have they let that go?
Because now the game is strictly based on, first of all, artist development is the internet. That's the new artist development. Because now think about it. A label looks at the internet, says, yo, this dude has 300,000 plays. Okay, we see where he's at. Snatch him up when he gets to 1 million. You understand? Like, it's not, before what a label used to do is say, I see talent in this artist. Let me do about 5 to 6 demo records with him to try to get him up to speed. Now it's like, all right, cool. Let me look at the internet and see who's at which position. And okay, cool, he's further ahead. Let's bring him in. He still needs work. Let him sit on the internet for a little while longer. So it's like the true meaning of artist development is gone. And that, I think that hurts the game a lot because some artists are good, but they're not at the point where they're ready. But the internet just throws them out there, and it's kind of like feast or famine. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly where I was going to go with it. Because just because you have clicks and views and people like your music doesn't mean the artist is ready to be in front of people yet.
You got to explain that to the artist, because who's going to tell the artist they not? If I got 2 million views and my man next door got 30,000, who's going to tell me I'm not ready? And he's not.
Because when you come and sit and talk to me, you have nothing to say.
You're right. You're a million. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Right.
What I'm saying is, this is what these artists believe. So when they sit in front of you, you try to tell them like, yo, my brother, you're not ready. They looking at you like you are insane. Like, yo, this nigga's a hater. That's what they leave and say. Whether you know it or not, that's what they leave and say. They do the same shit to me. They come and sit in my studio. They play me a bunch of shit. They be like, yo, but I got 3 million views online. I don't care. This is not hard. This ain't it to me. And then they leave me probably saying, yo, this dude is a hater. Mm-hmm. I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. I've been around thousands of artists. So everything you think you playing me, I've heard that song 7, 8 times over already from different artists. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you coming from, because the seat that you're in, you hear tons of artists. And when you give somebody some advice, if it's not the advice they want to hear, they hate you. They leave here talking crazy about you. Same thing with me. This is just a seat that we in, and you just got to deal with that. But again, every artist think they ready if they get a certain amount of views, and it's kind of hard to blame them because of the way that the internet and social media is structured.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I feel like there has to be some kind of adjustment to how music is consumed and given to people, because it feels like it's just the wild, wild west out here.
It is. It is. And to be honest with you, it's not going to get any better. If anything, it's going to get crazier. Why do you think everybody's selling their publishing now and people are buying all these artists' publishing?
That's a great question. Why?
Because whoever's buying the publishing, the powers that be know it's going to get crazier and music is going to be worth more. They know this ahead of us. Because the people that are buying this music, they're in the actual infrastructure of the new shit that's about to happen. So in their head, it's like, all right, cool. I know what this publishing is going to be worth 5 years from now. Let me just snatch it up from this dude for $30 million. That's cool. It'll be worth $100 million 5 years from now.
So what you're saying to me is these artists are taking shorts right now.
But they don't know. Of course. But think about it. If somebody comes to your crib right now, let's just say you got 100 hats in your crib, right? Nigga come to your crib and he's like, yo, I'll give you $50,000 for 10 of these hats. Isn't something in your head gonna click and say,
why you want these hats?
Like, what's going on? But the average dude is saying, fuck it, what?
Take them.
Yeah, take them. Not even thinking. Meanwhile, 10 years from now when it pops up, yo, hats are worth $25,000 a piece. You like, yo, what? Holy shit, I just sold these shit. You understand? That's what's gonna happen. A lot of these artists, because they're getting millions now, and that's great money. I'm not knocking them. But what I'm saying is, do you think they're just buying it to be nice to you?
Never.
Like, you think about it. This is what I'm saying. I think about it all the time. I've had people approach me for albums I did, like, yo, like somebody wanted to buy my piece of El Capo off me. I said, no, I'm not doing it. They offered me a good amount. I said, I'm not doing that, because if you want to give me this,
now,
what is it really worth?
Exactly. And listen, and this is to all artists, young people, and everybody watching. Whatever they offer you, that means they're getting at least 3 times that on the back end.
But guess what? This is what I can say. I can't knock anybody that might need the money, and if you need it and you got to take it, by all means. I'm not knocking anybody, but what I'm saying is, if you don't necessarily need it at this moment, think about why this person would be offering you this amount, and they don't want to just be nice to you. They just looking at it like, okay, cool, I know what this is really worth, and he doesn't. So before he figures it out, let me snatch up a piece of that.
I hope y'all are listening. There's gems out here in this whole interview. What's on the horizon for you musically? What are you working on that you can speak on?
Music. I mean, I can speak on everything, man. It ain't really, it ain't that serious. I'm gonna go back in with Jim and do a project called Jimmy and the Heat Makers. Is gonna be me, Jim, and my man Mark Scabilia, who was on a bunch of the records on El Capo. Me and Jerry Lorenzo I'm working with Jerry Lorenzo on his new Adidas campaign coming up in April. I'm supposed to be doing the music for for his new campaign, which is pretty dope, man. I'm actually super excited about that shit, to be honest with you.
Congrats, by the way.
I appreciate it, brother. I just hope it happens. You know how shit goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Me and Joel's I'm supposed to do a full project with Joel's once he finishes.
He need to get back in the studio. We need some Joel music.
He's actually doing a bunch of shit with drama now. So once he's done with the drama project, me and Joel's are gonna go in to do a fully produced project with me. And I have an artist right now that I actually just signed to me. Her name is Galaxy. She's from Reading, PA. She's super dope, man. Super dope songwriter.
When she's ready, bring it to me.
No, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. We're going to do that. I'm just trying to, like we was talking about before, the game has changed so much since I really try to put out an artist before that. I have to like study the way the shit is going on and figure out the right approach. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, there's no artist development. It's kind of like you just throw shit against the wall and hope something sticks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to take a different approach with it. So I will be bringing her here, obviously, but I just want to make sure that I got everything together with her. Big shout out to Galaxy, by the way.
Shout out to Galaxy. I'm excited to see you when you come. Anyways, that's on the horizon. Right. What else do you want people to know about what's going on with you?
I just love music, man. I just want people to know I love music, man. When you see me throw up beats and me making beats on the gram, it's not because I feel like I have to give this to the people. I just love music, and I want people to know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, I've had tons of producers tell me, like, yo, why are you just throwing up beats on the gram and giving away the formula to the show? I'm like, I just love making music, man. I want people to know I'm still alive. You understand? Like, it's hard. Anybody that's in this music industry understands how hard it is to stay relevant for 6 months, let alone 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Like, a Diplomatic Immunity came out. Even though my first record I ever produced was for Cannabis in '99, the first record that I got recognition off of was Diplomatic Immunity, which dropped in 2003. And now it's 2023 and I'm still here. So I'm just happy for that, man.
Well, let me salute you and give you your flowers because
Appreciate you,
I
my
believe,
brother.
like I said at the beginning, you're iconic, you're a legend, you're someone that I believe needs to be celebrated.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
You are an icon and a legend, and I think the streets need you.
Shit,
Hip-hop needs you.
I hope so, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, matter of fact, I forgot. Me and Corday are in talks of doing a project together. We've been working that out the last 2 weeks. So yeah, that's that too.
That kid got some bars.
Yeah, Corday's dope.
Yeah.
Corday's dope.
Okay, well, before I let you go, let him know before I let you go, any advice to new artists that would want to be great?
It's gonna sound backwards, but I'll explain. My advice is to stay angry, man. But not anger in the sense of like letting it throw your train of thought off. Anger is fuel. You understand? Like
I was just saying this to Steph G.
Like when I was coming up, I stayed angry. I was angry all the time. And I misused my anger for like the first part of my career. You know what I'm saying? I was just angry, mad at everybody that didn't play my shit, didn't talk to me right, didn't whatever. But later in my career, I learned to use that anger as like, it helps me stay devoted and motivated. And you understand? Like when I wake up in the morning, I think of certain things that people say to me. And even if I didn't want to do what I'm about to do, I go do it because I'm driven off that anger. You understand? But I can still put on a smile when I get in front of somebody and all that. But at the end of the day, I tell all new artists, use your anger correctly. Stay angry though. Don't shy away from that. But use your anger correctly because at the end of the day, it's like that's all you got. That's your adrenaline. Every day is your anger. So, just stay angry and do the right thing, man.
I believe that's great advice because I also feel like anger is good fuel for you if you use it the right way.
1,000,000%.
Okay, it's time to go. Let them know how to follow you. If an artist wants to connect with you, let them know. Just
hit me on the gram. It's Official Heatmakers with a Z. And we good money. That's it. I'll hit you back if you say the right thing and not talking crazy. It's real simple.
It was a pleasure talking to you today.
My brother. Thank you, man. You're great at what you do, my brother. If nobody told you that. It's love.
I'm not going to say nothing else. Come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.